hey, what's up? How's work today? That's it.
Right.
That's all you got to do. You know.
But it's top of mind. Keeping top of mind because they see you enough, right? Then they're gonna be like, "Yo, aren't you that one realtor? Listen, I got this issue, or I got this neighbor, and like, or whatever it may be, right? Whatever the situation is, they'll remember that you're a realtor, and then they'll just see you in passing, and eventually, right, it starts a conversation.
Yeah,
they want to talk. People always want to talk. They always want to talk about real estate. My favorite is when people are like, "How's the market?"
Oh man, like if I tell you,
you're not gonna understand, right? It's like, how's the market?
Do you even care? Like, do you even know? Like, no, but so that's one thing. This is what I was talking about in terms of the market, because there's a lot of times, or at least I see. This is what I see on Instagram, is I see people posting about all these corporations buying these homes, and be that as it may, the case, right? May that be true? Okay. But is that the only thing that you can purchase? Is that the only real estate? Like there's land. Go buy some damn land. I don't know. But that's an option that I always tell people. It's like, all right, you do have the option to buy land. You can get a construction home loan and build your own.
Build your own home. Yeah.
Build it to how you want. Find a builder, find a realtor, make it happen.
Right.
Now with that, how do you feel about the people that decide they don't need a realtor?
In regards to having to go and find,
or just doing the process. Okay, so let's be specific. That way, your answer can be more guided towards one certain thing. But yeah, finding a home and wanting to do it on your own.
If they want to. More power to them. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. If they have the means, the patience.
What are the means? Okay, yep. So the patience.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
The means meaning that if they were willing to just access just anything, right? I mean, granted, you have like the Zillows, the Realtor, the Redfins, all those. They have access to our MLS too, right? So essentially, people don't really need direct MLS access, but for the people that are just doing it on their own, it's like you're running the risk of not understanding the full and complete picture.
Yeah.
Because as realtors, we're able to like dive deep into it and understanding like the whole market in and itself.
Yeah, but you're doing it all the time though. You're doing it all the time.
Well, yeah, that's my job. I want to, you know what I mean? Yeah. You as a regular person, right? That's not what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's not what you're focusing your time on. So then now you're stumbling into, just like I don't play basketball. I can't hop onto a court. I mean, great. No? I can play a little bit.
You can't get down?
I can play a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm not going to be out here, walking on the court to go play for Orlando Magic. I'm not. No, it's not my thing. Same thing with like real estate. People want to do it, but they also have to know and understand where their limitations are.
Yeah.
That's not your thing. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan is not calling to, Michael Vick to be like, hey, I need you to hop on this court real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come help me hold it down. That's not his thing. That's not his lane.
You're right. And you know what? So to that point, I'll say I had a buddy recently. He was telling me about, he's getting into another profession, right? He's military. He's getting into another profession. He dabbled on some other things, retired guy. So he had, the liberty to kind of venture out and figure out what he wants to do next, right?
Right.
So now he's getting into this other thing, but he tells me, he's like, hey, between you, myself, this other person and like two other people, he's like, man, when we find that one pot of gold, man, that's gonna invite the other ones. And I'm like, no. No, because I don't care what you guys are doing. I'm doing real estate.
Right, there you go.
Like, and then I said, like, even so, if I find what is right, and I make ton of money, right? Because that's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
he's talking about a ton of money. Even if I find the right thing, that doesn't mean you're gonna like it. You're gonna like what I'm doing,
right?
It may not be your thing. So you'll quickly figure out, based on how long I've been doing it and what I had to do, whether or not that's what you want to do,
right?
So he didn't understand it. He was like, "No, are you telling me that if I start making $30K in this one job that I'm doing, you're not going to come along?" I'm like, "No, I'm not."
I'll root you on.
I'll root you on. I'll support. Yo, bro, go get that money. Yeah, that's $30K a month.
That's crazy.
No, that's money. But I'm happy. You know why? Because of two different reasons. Because one, have you ever seen that meme? Like, there are two people that are digging, right? And so then one's digging, and I guess, like, I don't know if it's the top or the bottom one, but he's the person that stopped.
Yeah.
Right, and he was so close.
Yeah.
But had he continued, he would have found right, the diamonds or whatever it was, the gold. And then there's that other person that is just like wailing at it, still keep going. Like, they may be far, but they're still, you know, going at it. And then eventually they find it, right? And so that's what I believe. Anything that you're doing, at some point it will come to fruition what it is that your goal is. I mean, of course, you need to envision what you want. Of course, you need a goal set. You need to prioritize. You need to have a strategy. You need to have systems, all that in place. But it will happen if you just persist long enough.
Right.
That's my beliefs. I'm not imposing that on anybody else. I'm just saying that's what I believe. And so what if, you know, 1 month, okay, I'm making 10K and all right, yeah, that's good. But it's just not enough in this day and age, you know, which I think 10K is enough.
I think 10K
is good, you know.
Right.
But, you know, everybody's ambitious. And then, you know, I stopped because this guy made 30K 1 month. Oh no, I got to get into what he's doing because 10K is not enough. But the next month I could have made 100K.
Right.
Had I just, and see, that's a beautiful thing about real estate. That can happen. In real estate, it can happen.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's not too many professions that you can say that can happen, essentially.
Right.
So that's why I was asking you about, you know, what do you think about the people that want to do it themselves? Because know your lane, know what is yours. And that's why I'm saying that even though you're making 30K, I know what's mine.
Right.
I see what you're doing. That's cool.
Right.
That ain't mine, bro. You know, so.
Yeah, but that's why I say, like, because you got to think, everyday buyer, right? They are working their own job. They have their own lives. You know, they got all this stuff going on.
Yep.
Real estate's not on their mind.
No.
And then, you know, you're going to throw in there, hey, you're going to have to start looking at some houses and you're going to have to start searching for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, not only that, you're also going to have to reach out to a couple lenders.
Yeah.
If, like, you know, you find
it's like
for sale by owner, right fast. Like, you're like a lender, like, what, you know,
cool. Which one? Would you recommend
which one? Who has the best
but you
loan?
don't need a realtor though. Why am I going to recommend one? Well, you got to do it on your own, right?
You can just figure it out.
Yeah, you got it.
Right. Or, you know, and then like say they find loan, right? They go to their bank because that's how most people are going to do it. They go to their bank. The bank was like, hey, great, we can get you this mortgage, blah blah blah. Here's all the terms, yada yada. The person's like, oh, this is going to be great. I got approved for this much. But little do they know, like, that's probably one of the worst.
The worst interest rates, the worst deals because you didn't go to
somebody who was look out for you and your interests. You know what I mean? And and then also like, okay, bet. So now you gotta try to put a contract in for this home.
The paperwork.
Well, you gonna ask the other person on the other end? Hey, can you give me the paperwork so I can?
They're like, what? They're like, you want me to give you the paperwork?
No. Yeah. You gotta figure that out.
And it's funny you say that because I'll be damned if a realtor asks another realtor, hey, can you give me the as is contract? I'm like, no. And that's agent to agent. So if agent to agent doesn't do it, let alone even less of a chance that agent to 100%. The buyer is going to do it, right? Their best interest is the seller, right? Their client.
So then you got to think, okay, bet. So that person in that situation, what's going to be their option?
Yeah.
Either
keep going. Yeah, tell me.
Either their mortgage person, their banker, whatever, is gonna, I don't know, aid them. But on their end, they're most likely going to be like, you need to reach out to a realtor because that's not their lane.
Yeah.
You know, their lane is right. Their lane is to get you that loan, right? Get you pre-qualified, yada, yada, whatever, get you pre-approved. Their lane is not helping you with the contract. Man, that's on you or your realtor representative. And so, you know, all right, so they get to that point. They get the pre-approval or the pre-qualification, right? And now they got to figure out how they're going to get this contract.
Yeah.
Their next thing is they're going to Google real estate contract.
All right, you found a document, but it's the
is
wrong
it the
one.
right
it's
one?
Outdated.
Facts, bro. Or you know, you didn't thoroughly go through to understand all the nuances through it. So then you're like,
due diligence.
I think this is how I should do it.
This and this
inspection period.
Yeah, what is the
I don't know what that means. I'm gonna put 2 days or whatever, right? Yeah. You'd be like, yeah, I inspected it. I walked in and I walked out.
First gonna be like, nope. You ain't know what that do.
Right. So they're gonna stumble around to try to do that, and then they're gonna send it in, and either the person on the other end, right, they may have representation, or they could be doing it on their own. Then it's just a confuzzled mess, right? Just two people who are the blind leading the blind, just bumping into each other in the dark. Or, they have representation on their end, and their realtors on the other side, like, this person obviously has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Let's count it.
We're gonna count it. Yeah. Right. And then, on that end, like, okay, it's a terrible thing to say that, like, all right, they're gonna take advantage of a situation. But granted, that other person put themselves in that situation. Yeah. So it's like you can't be upset at the other side, because the other side is supposed to take care of their own interests. Right. And you yourself is supposed to take care of your own interests. Yeah. Like, they're not there to be looking out for you to try to figure out how this is supposed to go. And, like, you decide to go on this on your own. So be it. We all figured you knew what you were doing. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, as a buyer, like, why would you want to put that much amount of stress onto yourself? And then not only that, then after you get the contract in, now you have to try to schedule an inspection. Mm-hmm. Who's an inspector? Do you know an inspector? Yeah. You got to reach out to try to figure out an inspector.
Do you know typical quotes, like prices?
How much should it be? Right. What's the time frame? Because you can have, like, anybody be like, yeah, I'm an inspector, but no qualification or any of the sorts. And then they're like, yeah, you just got to pay me, $10,000, and I'll make sure to take care of this for you, or whatever the heck, right? Oh man. So it's like, as a buyer, yes, you have every right to. You know what I mean? Just like as an adult, you could choose to do whatever you want. But as a buyer, you have every right to make that choice for you and yourself, and you feel like if that's the best thing for you and your family, your situation, go ahead, do it. But it just doesn't seem the best thing, right? Because you're then gonna put unnecessary stress upon yourself. Yeah.
And it's really stressful working with a realtor.
Home buying in general.
Right. Let me rephrase that. Not working with the realtor, but the home buying process.
Right. Exactly.
Can
be stressful.
Right.
Yes. But working with the wrong realtor can be extremely stressful too. Right. Because like you can get a realtor that, it isn't taking care of you how they should. Right.
Yeah, not communicating.
Right. Not communicating.
But before you get there, let me just kind of backtrack a little bit. So, they're at the, what do we say? They turned in the offer. Right.
Yeah.
Doing the inspection and all that. Now, this is what, right? So now you got the offer in, it gets approved, but then escrow. Okay, how do I do escrow? Who contacts me, right? So even that little,
who do I reach out?
Right.
Who do I know?
Who's going to contact me for this, right? So, and then all that paperwork all that first page that you got to put the title, the represent, right? So you got to put all that stuff in there, anyways. But what I'm saying is, why are they so stressed out about working with a realtor? The buyer, or like, I don't know what the stigma is. I don't know what the issue is, because typically you're not paying the realtor. It's on the seller side. Right. So where's the abrasiveness? Why not want to work with a realtor? You know what I mean? Have you heard, or do you have someone ever told you, oh, I don't want to work with a realtor because of X, Y, and Z?
I have, and I think it's probably because of what they've encountered in the past, right? Okay. History tends to repeat itself, and then for some people they have bad history or a bad experience with another realtor, and so they take that with them going into the next situation.
Every situation,
right? Gotcha. Exactly. You know what I mean? Just like relationships, you break up with a girl, then you carry that baggage on to the next relationship.
I let it go though, man.
Right. Facts. Of course, because you gotta move on, and then because you can't move forward if you're holding something down.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're dragging this on, and it's like, but that's not going to help you if you let it go. And then you'll be lighter. You'll be able to move faster and be able to move clearer into the direction that you're trying to go. Yeah. And as a buyer, I feel like that's the best route. I understand, this whole big lawsuit. It has everybody all confused about whether or not we need representation, if it's necessary, should we pay them or whatever. But it's like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Why
Somebody's
wouldn't
helping
you?
you do a job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody's literally taking care of the nuances and are representing you, just like as if like you were going to court. You wouldn't go to a lawyer and be like, hey, I need you to help. Can you do this for free? Can you get these charges off
for free?
For free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lawyer would look at you and be like, I need a retainer just to even have a conversation 100%, with you.
Yeah.
And as realtors, we don't do that, but it's acceptable in that field, even though we work in the same realm. I think
there's a parallel.
100%, because we're both in both fields, right? Realtors and lawyers. We're both professionals, right?
Licensed professionals.
Yeah. We both represent whoever our client is, and our task is to represent the best interests of our clients and negotiate on their behalf, and then also take care of all this other stuff that the client doesn't have to worry about.
Right.
You know what I mean? On their end, they're just worrying about what is the result that they'd like to reach to.
Yeah.
And then you, as that middle person, you're just there to just kind of help ensure that they get to that point, right? Yeah. Relieve some of the friction, negotiate some things, it's a give and take, right? It's a little tug of war with you and like whoever's on the other side. You're going at it back and forth and trying to figure out where's the middle ground that we all can reach at, and that everybody can enjoy and then leave from that situation happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in the same sense, we have the same obligations to our client of confidentiality. Like, we're looking out for their best interests. We're not going to go to the other side and be like, hey, like, my buyer ain't got no money, bro. There's no way this is going to make, this is going to happen. No way this is going to go down.
It happens too often though.
Right. But you're going in there to give your best foot forward on their behalf.
On their behalf, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same way with a lawyer. A lawyer will go into court, address the court, and then fight on the other side to get you the best result that they can get for you.
That's a good point you bring up, man, because you know what? I think when we first starting off, one thing we fail to do is we fail to build, I've told you before, is we fail to put a profile or an avatar for our client, the buyer, the seller, and that hurts us in many different, it hurts the deal in total, because you don't know the person, you don't know what they want, what they need. And how we were talking earlier was that if you know what this person wants, all right, you're going to know that they bank with Suncoast. You're going to know that, instead of Walmart, they really like to go to Costco. But sometimes they go to, I don't know, Walmart on the weekends, things like that. You're going to know these. So you're going to have to know them. And not only are you selling them or helping them, assisting in the acquisition of a home or an asset, but also, hey, all these things that you like and that I know are in your profile, well, you may not like the home so much, but the area is perfect. And I'm going to show you why. This, like, you have
how
to,
it's gonna work
you have to some degree, you have to sell the home. It's like, this is the home for you because it has everything around it. Now, I know a lot of times people go into a house and they're like, I'm going to feel it. Like, if this is the home for me, I'm going to feel it when I walk in. That may be the case. That may be the case sometimes. Why? Because the neighborhood fits, right? You're in the county that you want to be in. You're within the school district. All that stuff works. But on top of that, which you did, right? Because that's kind of like working on in the behind the scenes, all that stuff. Because you already know we're in the county you want, we're in the school district, and we go into a home and it's like, this is the one, right? But don't forget that the things in the background are also playing into that effect of why, when you walked into this house, this was
you
the
felt
one.
like this was the one,
right? So I feel like we failed to do that in the very beginning as realtors. We failed to get to know that person and really dive into, hey, I'm not just helping them sell a home, or I'm not just helping them purchase a home, but I'm also getting to know this person, right? And then that's why when we get gifts for them, or we can do like a selling your home party for them, right? You can do so many different things for them, right? But you got to get creative, and you got to really know these people, and to some degree be almost part of their family throughout that process, because it's it's how they say that this is one of the biggest decisions and biggest purchases that you'll potentially ever make in your life, right? And
but to that point though, like you get ingrained into their lives because one, you're getting a better understanding of why they're moving, why they're choosing this area, you know, what their goals may be in regards to it, what their future plans are with it all. So like you're literally creating the life for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But see,
helping them see that vision.
100%. But and I'm saying that because you know at this point you know that. But in the beginning, or I'm sure that in the beginning, right, other locations, you've seen like a questionnaire document, right?
Yeah.
That questionnaire document had nothing to say. Like it said, how many cats you have, you know, what kind of fence do you, you know, do you know the square footage? Okay, like most people don't know that stuff, you know. Now they may know that if you're talking to someone that owned property before, because they know what their square footage of their home is, their land, the plot, all that stuff. But someone that's brand new, they have no clue about how many square feet. Oh, I don't know. I just want to be able to live in it.
I just want to be big enough.
I don't want a box. I don't want a box. Oh, okay, cool. I don't want a box.
Okay, no box.
Got it. Yeah, this is just the truth. But I think really being candid. That's why I was telling you. So this guy is about to get into some big business right now. All right, so we're rooting for this dude. But that's what I was saying about when you get to the door or when you're there sitting down and you're greeting people and you're coming in, be candid, man. Be happy, be excited. And I know that you are.
Right.
But it also helps you know that, hey, I'm rooting for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So get in there, man, kill it.
And that's why I think also because in real estate, for some reason, bro, people just feel like they can't do it, or you know, they are unable to because for whatever reason.
It's not for them.
Right. It could not be for them. But then also at the same time, like a lot of people just don't understand that, like, yes, you can. You can be a homeowner.
You can.
Right. You can get to that point where you can have home ownership. Yes, you can live in this neighborhood or whatever it may be, right? People just feel like, oh no, it's not for me. Yada, yada. I don't know what happened that everybody lost their hope for any of it. That's why I'm excited. I like real estate because I feel like we can bring hope into people that they never thought it could happen. You know what I mean? And then because we can come up with creative ideas, like we were just talking earlier, seller financing. Yeah. Like that's something a lot of people have no idea what that even means. Yeah. What's that about?
And even like getting into that conversation, some people are like, well, how do I even start that conversation?
Right.
Hey, can we do seller financing?
Right.
Is that something you do? No, that conversation is anything in the space of real estate. If you're not confident and you're not familiar with it, it's going to be a little awkward, I guess, in the beginning.
Right.
But to your point about they can, the thing is, and I can't take credit for this. This is I forget the forget the old man's name, and I almost Bob Proctor.
Oh yeah. Proctor.
So he said that you just have to look at, all right, you figured out what it is that you want to do. After you figure out what you want to do, and you see all those steps, now you have to determine whether you're willing, because we're all capable of doing whatever it is. If the idea came to your mind, we're all capable of doing that stuff, with some exceptions, of course, whatever disabilities, you know what I mean? But with some exceptions. But generally, we all can accomplish what we want. And when you dream it, you can achieve it, right? That's what they say. But then the next thing is, are you willing to do what you have to do
to be able to think
that's required of you to obtain that? That's where people hit the roadblock.
Yes.
They're not willing to do the, and I don't want to say sacrifice, because then, people get scared of that. I got to sacrifice.
Right.
Sacrifice not going out for a weekend. Oh, I don't know if I can sacrifice. Okay. Well, then there you go. Then I guess you can't. Then you don't really want what it is that the idea sounds nice, but you don't really want. You want your life.
That's another good point, though. Yeah, that people are sometimes they're not willing to
Bob Proctor, man. Bob Proctor.
That's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's, what we spoke about last time is it's a mindset. You have to change your mindset with it, because it's understanding that, yes, I'm going to give this up, right? I'm not going to go to Starbucks every single day. I'm going to have to give that up, but it's only temporary because the end game is I want to be able to have enough money so I can, cover closing costs.
Yeah.
Things that I probably would have never anticipated or knew about if I didn't have a realtor that would inform and give me all this information.
You know what? So when you think about it, with how our economy is, the fact that we live in, one of the most richest countries in the world, and how money is just flowing, being printed, whether we want to acknowledge that or not, it's happening. Man.
Right.
Money. So money runs the world. And what I mean by that is not that, or rather I should say, money makes the world go round. And I'm not saying that money is everything. No. But what I'm saying is money is supposed to move, right? It's not supposed to just sit.
Yeah.
It's supposed to move from hand to hand, bank to bank.
It's supposed to flow.
It's supposed to flow. If you hold on to it, you're going to, it's going to leave you one way or another, right? But what you're also doing is you're not utilizing it to the best of its ability, right?
Because money's a tool.
100%. And
because when you hold it, it stays stagnant, and then and it's stuck. It's because it wants to move, but you're not allowing it to do what it's meant to do. You know what I mean? Like money's supposed to move. It's supposed to flow. It's supposed to exchange hands and or purchase items or assets or businesses, right?
Yeah.
And then just keep moving through there, right?
So I'll tell you this with the whole money thing that I was going. And this may not be exactly what I was trying to say, but now I'm thinking that, in our day and age right now, how we were talking about 10,000, right? 10,000 a month. That's very attainable. 10,000 a month is very attainable, right? Everything has to be broken down. When you're thinking just 10,000 a month, don't think I want to get 10,000 a month. You have to think of the things that you need to do to get to 10,000, right? So, you know what car you really, really want?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to tell me, but you know what car you really, really want. And now, if I tell you, put that car on your desktop, put it on your phone screen, right? More than likely, almost guarantee you that you will see that car out and about.
Oh yeah, everywhere. You'll notice it a lot. You'll be like, I see it everywhere. Yeah.
They didn't mass produce it once
you thought about it.
You started thinking about it. Wow, it's more cars. It's being sold more. No.
Yeah.
It's your fixation is now on it. Your imagination, your thoughts are now like you're seeing that, you're capturing that more, right? So with that 10,000 that you want,
I have a good segue for this, and I can't wait for it.
I'll finish it. I promise you. And it's gonna be. I know it's gonna flow right into it. That 10,000 you want, it's hard to get that because it's just 10,000. First of all, you probably never seen the 10,000, right? You've probably never seen 10,000 as a whole. But what you have seen is the ability to work. So you got to work, do things that you can physically, actively do. You can't actively do 10,000. It can't magically appear. But working will bring it, will attract it, right? That's what they say, it attracts it. But by working, you're going to attract that money. And it's really not attracting it. You're earning the money. Right. But you're doing
the same thing. Yeah, you're making actions happen. Right. Making it move.
Right. And so if we allow ourselves to think about those actions the way we think about the car, you'll be unstoppable. There's no way, because that's visualization. That's your mind, right? That's your conscious. And see how you can segue into that.
Oh, I got it. So I seen this interview, and it's about a neurosurgeon. They were interviewing them about, the brain and like how it all works, right? We've come to understand now in this day and age that your brain can change,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You can change the way your thoughts, you can change some of the neurotransmitters within your brain and
Is
your
that
mind.
chemicals too, or just transmitters?
Yeah, the chemicals work in it too, right? So the thing that the person said in there was that if you think about your brain, right? Your brain is inside of your skull, and it's surrounded by blood. There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
It's dark. Complete darkness, right? Your brain has no idea what the rest of the world is or what it's supposed to be. It only can tell by what comes through your eyes, and it processes it inside of your brain.
Yep.
Right?
I think I know where you're going with this.
Right. So if you're in your head and then your brain is processing all this stuff, or yada yada yada, it's really about what your brain inside is making up of everything right? Of what it sees, what it looks like, because you can I mean, they've done plenty of experience. Some terrible experiences have been done in the past where, they've taken a portion of your brain out, and then now you only see a certain color. Or right, yes, craziness, right? That you can do with your brain, and you can literally just trick your brain. Like they say, manifestation is completely real, right? And it is 100%. If you view whatever you think is what is, and if you can view, say, all right, I'm going to make $10,000 a month, right? That's something that you put in your mind, you put into your brain. Yeah. Your brain will figure out a way to make it happen, because it has nothing else but to just try to figure that out. Yeah. Right. Because it's just a giant computer. And in that computer, it's just like, okay, how can we try to, switch things around so that we can try to get to whatever this is, right? So we can get to this problem. Because your brain, it doesn't understand nothing. Like everything around it's completely by perception of whatever you 100%. May think or any of the source, right? That's why, like, you can hallucinate and you think you see something, but there's nothing there at all. There.
Yeah, I mean, you see it, right? Because you planted it there.
Exactly, and then it's just your brain that's just using that information. Wow. Yeah. And it's like you can use your brain as well to then create other thoughts and like create ideas of, hey, if I can, come up with this product and I can just sell this product a few more times, or 100 times or 10 times or whatever it may be, right? I can make that 10 grand, and then now I've made 10 grand a month. Yeah. And then you take that and move it on to something else. And it's like, well, I then created a business. Like, that's why, like, a lot of people, we've created so many millionaires now, right? Because I think we've gotten to the point where we're understanding a little bit more about what that means, and like how you can actually change your brain and change the thoughts in your brain to make it do what you want it to do. You know what I mean? So like, you got all these YouTube stars that are all out there, or anybody really, and they're creating these businesses all from something that they thought of. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, everything is a thought. Yeah. Every idea, every business is something that we thought of.
Right. Yeah. Everybody thought Steve Jobs was freaking nuts. Yeah. You're like, bro, you're insane. You're gonna create what? A freaking a cell phone, bro? A computer?
A computer on a cell phone?
Like, what is that? That doesn't make any sense, bro. Like,
you're gonna put apps on it?
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. $1 billion company. Yeah. All because somebody was like,
trillion.
This sounds trillion. Come on.
Trillion.
Amazon, Jeff Bezos, they thought he was insane.
Yeah. He was like, books, bro?
You're gonna do it online with a computer? That's crazy. What the heck kind of nonsense is that? Now, I know people that literally cannot live without Amazon, bro.
Yeah, every day they're like, oh, did my package come in?
Facts. Yeah. And it came from somebody just thought this up. You know what I mean? Yeah, so your brain has the ability to just make something up, right? And or it has thoughts in there that you just have to then bring to fruition. Because granted, Jeff Bezos had this idea, and then it didn't come into fruition until he put in the work for it, right, to make it happen, because he wanted it. He willed it so much so, and he was willing to do what was required to get to that point. And now look, he can do whatever the heck he wants. He literally does not have to work a day of his life, because he put in enough work that now it just continues to pay him back. Right. Oh man. But it's true, because he gave up. It's the you make that sacrifice for that short amount of time, so that then you can reap the rewards at the end of it. Yeah. Like you're working out, right? Every day you're working out, and to work out, you're shredding your muscles. right?
All day, every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Shredding them just within the rebuild, but then you're shredding them so that you can get to a point where you're like, bet this is the physique that I want.
Yeah.
But you had to build that up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I tell my kids all the time when like they're building toys or something, it's like you can't like, yeah, I understand you want to get to that end point, but you have to put in the work before you get to that end point. Like we like building Legos. It's like, yeah, you see the Lego like how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You got to take the steps forward so that you can get to that point.
Like the castles and
bro,
all that
like
stuff?
all of it. Build little figurines, all of it, man.
Oh, man, that's fun.
We just built a campsite.
Nice.
Yeah, we did.
It's cool seeing those, right? Like you building
wild, bro. It's wild. I think it's so cool. It's dope because like it's a pile of nothing. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But then you started following directions, put the pieces together, and then
pretty nice.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's the same thing, just like anything in life. It's like that business you had, it's nothing right now. But you keep building it, keep working towards it, You do the work that's necessary for you to get to that point. Or now you're looking at your business, you're like, wow, this thing is amazing.
Yeah, I got 20 employees. Wow.
Okay. I got all these people that want to work for me. I'm out here changing the world.
Well, even that, man, like even if you're looking at the inception of any business, even that is something, because you just did something that most don't even know how to. They don't even know how to get there. Right. Yeah, applying for EIN.
What's that?
It's like people don't know how to get there. Mm-hmm. Open up a bank account. How do I do that? What? 2024? What are you talking about? But no, in all seriousness, it is something that, again, I hate to say the word sacrifice, but yes, you have to sacrifice to see the end result. You have to plan, strategize, all that stuff, whether that's real estate, whether business, no matter what it is. Now, okay, so if we could get back to like real estate specific. I know you were saying how people are asking you about, how's the market doing? Mm-hmm. Now, for me, I think last month I was getting that more often. How's the market doing? Yeah. But I think it's because you were hearing more about it. Mm-hmm. So because you hear about it, random people are just gonna say, like next door, they're asking me, how's business? They don't know. But people are going to ask that because that's what they hear most of. Right? The market's down, things are shifting. But it's so crazy. And this is why I think it's very important that you do your own due diligence, right? What was that phrase, due diligence? And not just go by what the news says, right? Or just figure out what media you're going to listen to, or if you're going to, take a little bit from all. Because literally one day it was saying markets are down. The very next day, house prices did better than what it was anticipated on month one. Right. Like what? So it was down and then it's up. So people confused, and then they're going by one thing the first time and what they hear, and then they're running with this, and so negativity spreads faster. Oh yeah, right. 100%. So that they're gonna stay with that longer than the market is doing great. Right. And even if you do hear the market is doing great.
Nobody cares about that.
Hey, nobody cares. Whatever.
Of course the market's doing great.
Yeah, market's doing great, but I ain't doing great. You know what I mean? Like, so they're gonna that's gonna fly out. That's good. In one ear out the other. You know. So, the market's doing bad. Oh yeah, see, it's bad. Things are bad. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna agree to that. Right. And then, market's doing good, but what? What? Okay, man.
I just, that's a good point though, because that plays into because I'm just trying to understand, when did we get so infatuated with this whole victim mentality? Yeah, man. Oh, wow, woe is me, blah, 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 grumble. And it's like, come on, bro. I know. Okay. I feel like you can't, I mean, yes, there's victims, right? There are people who are, they're targeted, they're whatever it may be, right? There are victims. Victims are real. But, a lot of us tend to just kind of be like, I can't do this. I can't do that. Woe is me. I can't, it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. But it's like people in the same, if not worst situations can do exactly what you want to do. Right. And what you
and some achieve it. Obtain it,
right? Obtain it and then do better, and then you're still,
but not me, but my situation, they right. They I don't know. They just stay in their sorrow.
Yeah, in their funk. Yeah,
and I mean, the one that sucks, you know, and I don't wish that. I don't wish for people to stay in their funk, and
No.
I don't wish victimhood or ness on anyone,
Mm-hmm.
or even, you know, even if you are physically, however the case is, if you're a victim. But I feel like, or forget how I feel. The fact is, if you want to stay there, you're gonna stay there.
Right.
Doesn't matter what I say or who. Like,
Right.
you're going to gravitate towards the person that is tending to that victim inside of you versus the person that's trying to raise up the victor.
Right, there you
know what I mean? Like, you're gonna gravitate more towards a person that's like softening or caressing that victim. You know, everything's okay. You're gonna be all right. You know, it wasn't your fault. You know, or you know, your situation is difficult. Yeah, I get it. You know, okay, but what then? All right, if that's the situation, do you want to come out of that?
Right.
Because
are you taking the steps?
Yeah, because you know, because it goes back to, you are capable. Mm-hmm. It's just, are you willing to? For some, it just may be harder. So be it.
Right. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if my father wasn't a millionaire, then I can't expect that I'm going to have $1 million when I'm 18. If he wasn't a millionaire, he didn't leave me with that. But if, you know, kid down the block, his dad was a millionaire and left him, that's his situation.
Right.
And so, you know, there's multiple things, because we shouldn't be mirroring or looking at somebody else and their situation, because you never know what they had to go through to get what they, you know, where they are or what they have.
Right. Yeah.
And would you have done the same?
Yeah.
Because, okay, they made all this money and whatnot, but would you have still taken that route?
Right. Exactly.
You know, would you have sacrificed or done the things that they did?
Yeah.
They did.
And look, to play on that, man, I got a good story. Yeah, I won't put the name of the person out there or whatever, but yeah, same. They were in a bad situation, and it seemed like the situation was just getting worse, right? And you know, they felt like they couldn't get out of it, and they were like, "Yo, like, you know, this is terrible." Blah 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 blah. I said, "Look, bro, I know it sucks, and I totally understand. I get it. I get it. It's not a situation anybody wants to be in, but you know what you are." You're just gonna have to work your way through it, and like, you know, just got to figure out a way. Got to figure out another route. Got to try to push, or whatever it may be, right? But you keep going to work past it, and it is what it is. It's like it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you do what you got to do so that you can get onto the other side.
Brace yourself, because I'm telling you, it's gonna suck, and you know it's gonna suck.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then just recently, they got onto the other side of it, and they're like, "Oh man, you know, I didn't think this was happening. I'm so blessed." Da, da, da. And it's like, absolutely, because why? Because you kept pushing through, and that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
When the, you know, you feel like you hit rock bottom, or the cards are down, you're like, "Bro, I'm out." No, heck no. That's when you fight harder. You know,
so what they say? You're only a quitter when you quit. Oh, you're a failure when you quit.
Yeah.
Right? You can fail, and then, you know, that, like that digging.
Right. Yeah.
All right, he quit. That's when you're a failure.
Yeah, that's when it actually fails. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And like, you know, I think as realtors, we are tasked to you know, try to give some hope, because I think there's a lot of people out there that just feel like there's no hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially now, like, they keep hearing like, oh, like, there's no way I can be able to afford a house now. Like, I can't get into a house, or I can't be a homeowner because you know, all these companies are buying all these homes. But it's like, those are not the only homes that are out there,
and that's not the only option,
right? Because like, you could then be that person that presents an opportunity for someone else, right? You have somebody that's been living in their house for 10, 15 years, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just tired of stinking no house. You know, I'm tired of living here, yada yada." But they want to try to get out of it. They want to try to get into a new house, right? Because that's what real estate is all about. It's about investing, and you buy yourself a home, you're in it, you live in it for however long, you do upgrades, yada yada, and then you use that to leverage yourself into a better situation.
Yeah.
You know, you can have somebody that's, you know, they want to get into this other house, but they can't. They feel like they can't do it. But then you come in, you're like, "Hey, like, you know, I don't have the greatest opportunity."
Let me figure it out for you. Yeah,
facts, but then let me come in so I can be able to help out to make sure that this happens. You know, you can have a situation where you have a person that they're first time home buyer, but they don't have enough funds. They can't qualify. The credit isn't the greatest, yada, yada. But then you can create a situation where they come to a homeowner that they're ready to get out, they're ready to go, yada, yada. They can come in, at a lesser amount, right? Seller finances this person can get out of that home and then get into another home, right? But then have this home being covered because this person got in, they're going to be paying for this amount for it and yada, yada, and that's covering it. And then this person is still getting some money on the other end, right? Yeah. So then now you create a whole win-win-win-win situation. Everybody's winning. Man.
That was a good one. Yeah,
that's real life. You know what I mean? And like, but people don't know that. They don't understand.
You build that for them. You put it together.
Facts. And but as realtors, because we know and we've seen it, we know that it can be done and it can happen. Yeah. So it's like, you know, if you're just going to take that route to try to go with yourself, you don't know those things. You know what I mean? You won't have any idea of that. Yeah. But even the concept of seller finance. Nobody's ever heard of seller finance. Yeah. You know, you can seller finance a car.
You seller finance a car. 100%.
You can seller finance everything.
Yes, everything. Yeah. I mean, people got to be willing and wanting to do that.
Right. Of course. It has to be negotiated well enough. But
you anything. Yeah, anything. Hey,
you never know that.
You can negotiate zero interest.
Yeah.
If the terms seem right. You know what I mean? It's funny because I was just talking to an investor this morning, and you know, investors, right? All the time. Yeah. Hey, fix and flip or this and that, whatever. And so, you know, I was transparent because of everything that's going on with NAR and the lawsuits. I was like, look, I can find you something and that's good. You know, we can do work together, but just know, and I want to say it up front, that it's possible that if there is a home that the seller is not paying commission to the selling agent, the buyer's agent, you'll have to pay. They're like, oh, no, we get it. We understand. Yes, we know how it's situation. But, you know, as long as my numbers work and I'm good, we'll do whatever it is that we need to do to take care of you. Okay, cool. You know, but you want to have that conversation up front.
You know what's funny? I had the class I just went to. One of the agents there.
What was it?
It was forecasting into 2024. So looking at the economics of it, looking at the numbers and trying to make a strategic prediction of what's going to happen, right? Because the topic of Feds are planning on cutting the rates. Like, yes, they plan on cutting the rates, but then, you know, that could turn into how home prices becoming more
high. Right. Possible. Yeah.
Right. And one of the other agents there, you know, the topic came up of the buyer representation. And they were like, you know, never have I ever had a buyer representation contracts written out with my buyers or anybody I've dealt with.
They never.
Yeah. And I was confused because I'm like, well, I feel like right, because I feel like you have to create that narrative, right? And like, yes, from their point, they were like, oh, you know, comes off a little bit too like pushy or whatever. It makes it uncomfortable.
I just think you soft.
Yeah. I say no. You have to present it as if like, you know, I am a professional.
Yeah, are you a businessman and woman?
I'm a professional, and this is how professionals work, and this is how it goes, and like, you know, so that it's everything up front. There's no confusion on the back end, and we both understand where we are and the expectations are already set.
Yeah, it's business. Yeah.
Right, it's business. But then also, you know, to say to them, this helps protect you, also helps protect me.
Yeah. So,
and like, what pushback could somebody give you for that? You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm doing this as a professional.
Right. What do you think? I mean, you just called me and I just happened to answer my phone? Like, you just randomly dialed the number?
Right, yeah. No.
Hey, I sell homes. I help people buy homes. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Now, let me ask you, did someone counter what that person said? No one countered.
Of like what them...
well, how what you just said was exactly counter to them.
Right.
Did someone counter them?
No. So like this was it was one other agent that was in the class with me. Like we were all watching whatever. Yeah. We had like a little bit of time. We can you know, converse, like yada yada. And
you guys were talking.
Right. Me and him talking. And I feel bad because I'm like, what? No, like you should. Even then, even more so now, right? Yeah. Because now like this is now becoming a thing or whatever, right? Even more so now, you should have those conversations, but you have those conversations up front because you don't want at the back end of it where it's like, okay, now come to find out the seller is not willing to pay the buyer's agent. And now you have to look at your buyer like, hey, so how am I getting paid for this after all this work?
No, you say it up front.
Right. You get it out of the way because at least they have the understanding, the expectations already there. They can plan for it on themselves with their finances, or they can help negotiate that with the seller.
With the seller,
you know what I mean? That can be a negotiating point. Like, hey, I really need to pay my buyer's agent. Is there any way you can try to make some room in this or whatever?
Or
right?
bring down the cost.
You bring down the cost, and then that portion, I can just give it to them or what? Right? You negotiate it out.
Yeah.
But at least
you can't do that by yourself.
Absolutely not, because you're not going to.
Yeah, you're not going to. Yeah.
But it creates that moment so that the expectation is already set, and it's not weird. You're not having the awkward of like, all right, so the offer came back, and like they're not offering to pay, so like, are you offering to pay me for my services? You know what I mean? And like that's weird.
Yeah,
especially
that's very unprofessional. That is unprofessional,
right? And then because like you get to the very end of it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're already okay. These are our numbers. This is what I'm going to do. Da da da. And then you're like, hey, also on top of your numbers that you already have, and like you already got, I'm gonna have to throw in a little loop in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw in $8,000 in there. Yeah, just let you know.
That person's like, bro, I just scrapped up everything I could.
Everything. I sold everything. I sold my car. I sold my trailer. Damn, bro. All right,
well, you want $8,000 from me?
Well, let's look at what else you have. Let's look at what else you have.
Like you got a shoe collection.
Yeah, what else you have in your bank?
Wait, hold on.
Account?
You say your kidneys.
Yeah,
your kidneys good.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like that doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, you should always have those conversations up front.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Man. Especially money, bro. Anything with money, have that thing up front. Get it out the way, bro. Because like money is the most awkward thing.
It's so awkward, and especially if you feel it's awkward with someone you don't know, how much more awkward is it for someone that you do know?
Facts.
Right? So it's like, come on, man. Like, I think it's more awkward with someone that you do know.
I think so too.
Versus someone that you don't know.
Right.
And I mean,
somebody you don't know, who cares? Like, you could walk away. It's fine.
Bro, hey, look.
Somebody you do know. Money. You got to see what, right? Facts.
Go look fun that house. You know what I'm saying?
Especially like if you have like a good enough relationship with that person, like now it's like, all right, like we're having friends.
Follow in my footsteps, I say hello, hello, hello.